Alright guys, so we just woke up. The sun's not up quite yet, but it almost is, so we're gonna throw our shoes on real quick and get out there so we can get some nice pictures of the sunrise. Let's go. Alright, we're gonna head out of the campsite for a minute because, well, obviously it's too thick in here to really see the sunrise. We're gonna get closer over to the water. That's a nice spot. That's where I like to go to see the sunrise. We've got this small lake right here. You can hear all the birds and the ducks. And now we're facing out at the east over here. And that sun's getting ready to rise right over the top of those mountains. When we were actually living out here, we would drive that Volkswagen Rabbit down here and watch that sun come up. And we had to get up early in the morning because there were construction workers. So there was always like tractors and excavators and all these different types of big equipment that would drive up and down through here. And they would start in the morning on the weekdays, usually around, I don't know, 6 or 7, shortly after sunrise. And we never wanted them to spot us coming out of our little campsite. So we would have to get up early before they were out here to get up and get out of our spot and to get out of here. We didn't really hang out here too much during the day. We came out here to sleep at night, and then during the day, you know, we would just head into town or wherever we needed to go. Sometimes we'd hang out here during the day, but we didn't want our car being seen out here too much just because it is easily noticeable, and some of the construction workers have seen our car out here, and I think a few of them got suspicious that we might have been staying out here, but whatever. We managed to hide from everyone for 4.5 months while we lived out here, and it was a good time. And we're getting ready to watch the sunrise right now. It's beautiful. I love listening to all the birds out here. I think I left Zeb in the truck. You let Zeb out. Come on, Zeb. So our camp spot is directly behind me in those bushes, thorny trees, whatever you want to call them. And then out here, we've got the water, a small lake, beautiful mountains, beautiful sunrise. So this area is a public park, which is technically closed at night, but they don't really enforce that too much. There's only been one time when we came out here at night when there was actually a police officer back here, and he informed us that it was closed, but we told him we were just walking our dog. He's like, oh, you guys are fine.
We were like, yikes.
Yeah, but we were like, oh shit, okay.
Gotta be more stealthy from
Gotta be stealthy. So we didn't mind hanging out at the park. We just did not want to be seen going in and out of our camp spot. We would hang out here at the park a little bit, but we didn't want to do it too much just because our car was, for those of you who know about the Rabbit, it was orange and blue, had our Snapchat logo on the side. So we
like a diesel truck.
We were hanging out here. You know, people saw us hanging out here quite a bit, and they began to wonder, like, are these people like living out of their car here or what? That's why we hid the car at night, in case anyone drove through. We didn't want them seeing our car. So we did a good job. We stayed hidden for 4.5 months. So because we didn't have a 9-to-5 job, we spent a lot of time outdoors exploring, climbing mountains. And actually, that mountain right out there, we climbed to the top of that one. That was a fun experience. That was a workout though. That was really steep and very rocky. Kind of boring, honestly.
It was boring. It's very challenging.
Very challenging. So one of the things that I like the most about living out here was just listening to all the birds. I don't know if you guys can hear them on the camera or not, but it's just beautiful and it's relaxing, and you don't hear too much of that in town. Alright, so we're gonna head back to our camp spot. There's more I want to show you guys and talk to you about that you might find interesting. So we're gonna head back there now. We're gonna get our stuff cleaned up and we're gonna pack out, and we probably will never be back here again. We wanted to get one more camping night in here and shoot some video just to show you guys what it was like. So last night, you guys saw how we walked to our camp spot. We actually walked in through the back entrance. I also created a front entrance because our campsite is actually just on the other side of these bushes right here. It's closer to the front here. But the thing about that was, if we went in and out here, we're kind of in the open, and so people could see us. Because, like I said, this is a public park, so people come out here regularly, walking their dogs, riding bikes, dirt bikes, mountain bikes. We've even seen people riding horses through here frequently. So we never wanted to be seen going in and out of here. We had a front entrance, but we only used that usually if it was dark and no one was out here. Otherwise, we would park further down and go in the back way. Gotta keep it stealthy if you want to remain hidden, and we did. But today, I don't really care. We're gonna go in the front entrance here, and we're gonna show you guys around.
You can really see where we had to chop down some of these branches.
Yeah.
Just for this video, so we can come through here a little easier. Before we kept them there so it wasn't so obvious there was a trail here.
Maybe we should make a little fire.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Warm up a little bit. All right, so as you guys can see, we got a nice trail through here. And as you come into our camp spot, it's nice and flat and open, but it wasn't always that way. When we first found this spot, like I said, we were trying to stay hidden. And we kind of knew that no one would be coming through these trees because they're really dangerous. Like, check these out. Like, you see these things? These trees have these gnarly thorns all over them, and some of them are over an inch long. So if you're not careful, you can get hurt just walking out through here. And so no one really comes through here. See all these clumps of grass? Like, the ground was not even. We had all these clumps of grass growing like this. Basically, everything was like this here. So it was impossible to pitch a tent. Like I told you earlier, we had found a shovel when we were hiking one time, and we brought that shovel back here and we cleared out the ground to make it flat. That was the first thing we had to do. Actually, no, the first thing we had to do was cut down some of these trees. You can still see, like right here, this was cut, this was cut, this one was cut, that one was cut, this one was cut. There was a lot more here. I had to cut a lot down back there. We had to clear it out. After it was cleared out of all the branches, look, there's still a pile of them out here. Look at that. Crazy. But yeah, after we got that cleared out, then we had to level the ground. Once the ground was leveled, then we could start setting up camp. And someone had actually dumped a pile of wood chips out by where we parked, and we took a plastic bin that we had. Well, Miss Stacy did this, and she scooped the wood chips into the bin, drug it in here, and spread the wood chips out. So it actually looked landscaped in here, which was really cool. Another thing I want to point out is while we were living out here, it rained and our campsite got flooded out. And I mean, I'm talking, it flooded. We weren't even able to get back here. We had to stay with a friend in their apartment for a couple days until the water subsided because there was water over the gravel road. We couldn't even drive back here. When we did get back here a couple days later, just everything in this campsite had washed out. It was scattered everywhere. Our tent obviously everything was soaked in the tent. We had to hang our clothes and our belongings on these trees and on these branches just to dry out. It was tricky. It was a little rough. Zeb, don't dig a hole right now. No.
Not right there.
Miss Stacy's building a fire so we can warm ourselves up a little bit.
There's a beetle. Zeb, beetle. Get the
There's a
beetle.
beetle.
Right there. Zeb. Zeb, wait, stop it. Look, right here. Stop. Look, right there, beetle. It's a beetle.
So there you have it, guys. I'm not sure what more there is to talk about or show you, But I did want to make sure that I got out here before they developed this land to show you guys exactly how we lived out here for 4.5 months, because it's just what we had to do. I was determined to live out here in Las Vegas. The only other option was driving back to Michigan. And well, I mean, honestly, we didn't even have the money to really do that, to drive back. So to sustain ourselves, Stacy did her wood burning art, which she made a little bit of money doing that, and I used my social media to promote her art and to sell it. So that floated us along.
Yeah, I used to plug it into the Rabbit. We had a power inverter in the Rabbit, so I'd plug my little wood burner in and burn away.
Our biggest bill at the time was our phone bill. We wanted to make sure that we at least kept that paid. I was driving the car without any insurance because I couldn't afford it, obviously. The registration was expired, but that's just how it was. We didn't have the money to renew it. We were blessed to even have that car. If we didn't have the car, I mean, I don't know what we'd have been doing. We'd have been living on the streets closer to town, and that would have been a nightmare. This was quite the experience living out here. Like I said, it wasn't a bad time. It was fun. I mean, you saw us camping out here last night. We had a good time this morning. It was awesome watching the sunrise. I never really thought of myself as homeless because, like, look at us. We're just camping. Like, this is what we're doing. Like, if we decided to go to Utah and go camping, we'd be doing the same thing, or wherever. You know, the only difference was we had to be careful about being seen coming in and out of here just because we had to stay hidden. It was a good time. Just had to recognize the doubt when it hit me, because that happened frequently. I would begin to wonder, like, how much longer are we gonna be living out here? Like, it's fun, we're enjoying it, but like...
He even offered to ship me back to Michigan. I was like...
Yeah, I told Stacy, I'll send you back to Michigan. I don't know how I was gonna afford to do that.
I was like, what? I'd rather stay here. I wanted to be camping. It was either that or go back to Michigan winter. I was trying to remember what we used to have for breakfast out here. Sometimes it'd be probably peanut butter and jelly. That'd be fast and easy. Do you remember what else? We'd go to the park a lot for breakfast, and they'd have free meals for like the homeless and stuff, and that really helped us out a lot.
Wednesdays and Thursdays they would have community meals at the park for homeless people. We would go up there, we'd get a nice meal, and then there was people up there that would drop clothes off or blankets or whatever, so that's where we got some of our supplies. And we met some really cool people up there too, and we're still friends with them today.
Some of the people we used to see up there that were living on the streets back then are still living on the streets, and it's like, man, I don't know how we ever got out of here. I wish there was more we could do to help other people get out too.
I think it's important, if you're in a situation where you don't have a roof over your head, to not think of yourself as being homeless, because when I did that, it was a very negative feeling. Well, the way that term is used nowadays, like, oh, they're homeless, or that homeless person, like, I don't know, it just makes them sound like they're a lower class person, and I never viewed myself like that. Like, I knew the talent that I had, I knew the passion that I had, I knew that I was a driven person, I knew I had a lot of potential, and just because of the fact that my housing situation fell through and my job situation fell through as soon as I moved to Las Vegas, that did not mean I was less of a hustler. That did not mean I was less motivated. That didn't mean anything, really. It just meant I didn't have a roof over my head. And I like camping anyway, so we came out here and we camped for 4.5 months, you know, while we got on our feet and while we did what we had to do. I had been running a Snapchat account before, so I had a little bit of a following on there. So people watched our journey. We had a couple people donate to us on there. That was really cool.
Really helped us out a lot.
Came in clutch a couple times.
Yeah.
We didn't know what we were gonna do. Oh, we've had our bank accounts garnished.
Yeah, we woke up one morning and all of our money was gone.
Yeah, we went to put some fuel in our car one morning and my little debit card thing wouldn't work, and found out they had taken our money. It was like $200. And to us, $200 was a lot of money at the time. And then
we definitely had plans for that.
They took it all, which meant we couldn't even fill up our car with fuel that day. So we didn't even do much driving around that day. We had to hang out close to our campsite just because we couldn't go very far. Learned a lot of lessons, learned how to be thankful for little things like the beautiful sunrise, the birds.
Thankful for each other, our dog. The fact that we had a car so that we could make it to the park if we wanted to go and participate in the meals, or even just make it to like the store for more supplies or the laundromat.
Yeah, we had having a car was a huge thing. Like there's a lot of people living on the streets that don't have a car, and that would be
even more difficult.
That would be even more challenging.
There was a couple times though that the rabbit broke down and we thought it was the last time.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we'd cook our food, we did have our propane stove like you saw, but we'd try to be as conservative as we could with like all the resources we had. Sometimes we would take our stove with us in the rabbit to like the park or whatever, and we'd like cook in a parking lot. We'd just set up shop on top of the front of the hood of the rabbit. We'd be making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, or sometimes we'd be boiling mac and cheese.
Yeah, we just cook our meal on the hood of the car.
That was our kitchen sometimes.
So a lot of you have been asking how exactly we got started in the adult entertainment industry. And the truth of it is we got started when we were living right here. Well, good morning. It's another beautiful day. It's not raining anymore. It spent 2 days raining. Our campsite, we couldn't even make it back to our campsite because of all the water that was flooded over the road. So we're on our way there right now to check it out and assess the damage. Hopefully it's not too bad. Hopefully everything's just a little wet. We're out here trying to get to our campsite. Almost got the rabbit stuck, but not quite. But we literally can't walk through there or else our feet sink into the ground. I mean, my shoes are already pretty trashed, but we figure if we can get over to these rocks, it'll be a little drier. Thank God for these rocks here. My shoes are so trashed. Oh, hey, we got some boards up here. Look at this. These are nice boards. Might be able to use those. Make a shelf or something. Never know. Super muddy back here. Lots of water definitely came through here. Damn. There's our tent. Our campsite. Is it soaked?
Uh-huh.
Everything's soaked. We expected that though. We're good.
Put it in my little bag.
We got blankets hanging out there drying. Another one here. It was it was awesome. Like, people gave us several blankets. We had some really, really nice blankets, and then everything just got soaked. So, but we're not complaining. We just got some cleaning up to do. All right, so guess what did stay dry? My donuts. Yeah, we had them hidden under here, and they're still good. My day just got better. Oh, and the milk is still cold because it gets cold at night. So we got donuts and milk. Man, I'm a happy guy. I'm a happy camper. You have your